What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Movie Rewind, and today we will be reviewing Joker. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in terms of character development, this film really does make you understand how the Joker becomes the Joker. Now, obviously, the main character, Arthur Fleck, yes, he has some mental problems. You know, he has depression. However, the way that this normal man just trying to get through life is let down by the system, by the people he trusted and loved, and in the end just decides he's had enough. Just has a complete psychological breakdown. And I really like the development that this movie does on its characters. It's really a story about the rich and the powerful, all the establishment, how all, even though they might say how much they care and how much they want to see regular people do better, they don't really. They wouldn't give up their lives in order to help others. And that's what Joker deals with. It deals with one normal man finally understanding this and just having a breakdown and saying, you know what? All of you rich and powerful, you don't care about us, so why should we care about you? So for the character development alone, that gets a 10 out of 10 because quite frankly, some of the best development I have ever seen. Now, in terms of the performances, yep, this film has some great actors in it, such as Robert De Niro, and they all give great performances. However, the main one is Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of Arthur Fleck and the Joker. Now, I personally thought that nothing would beat Heath Ledger's performance. But this one does. This guy, you feel sorry for him, and you feel bad that you feel sorry for him. And his performance doesn't let up. It's a continued decline in his mental state. There's never an uplifting moment where you think, he might be getting back on track. No, it just goes straight down. And the last 20 minutes, he is not Arthur Fleck anymore. He is the Joker. And he does an amazing job. The best scene, in my personal opinion, is when he goes on the TV show and he's talking to Murray Franklin. That scene is brilliant because that is the Joker. That's how the Joker operates. And I could just go on about his performance. He put so much into this, and you know what? He deserves an Oscar for that performance because it was just brilliant. The performances get a 10 out of 10 because Joaquin Phoenix, you're now my favourite portrayal of the Joker. Now, in terms of the effects, this film doesn't really have a lot of CGI effects and not a lot of practical effects, really. The practical effects used in this are really well done. However, in terms of the effects, it's really strange. This film relies more on tone than effects, and it's such a great tone. I mean, as I've already said, this film doesn't let up. It just has a really dreary atmosphere, a very dark atmosphere. So when you come out of it, and especially the second time I went, because I've seen this film twice now, the second time I went to see this film, it was like it had a really bad effect on me. I felt like coming out of there, I'd been punched in the stomach. Like everything was gone. I was just like left there feeling like, wow, that film left an impact, which is good. A good film should leave an impact on the viewer. And this film's tone makes it so the viewer, there is nothing uplifting. There's hardly any comedy in this film. It is just one man's continued mental decline, and the tone, because it is so dark, because it is so dreary, it helps in that. So I'm going to give the effects a 10 out of 10 because just for the atmosphere this film makes, it should be rewarded. Now, as for the story and writing, it's brilliant. I've heard some people, and I heard someone come out of it and say it was rubbish because it didn't make any sense. The writing didn't make any sense. And I'm thinking, well, how can you say it didn't make any sense? This film does something different to your average comic book film. It is a case study. It's about, as I've said, one man's mental decline. And the film handles that perfectly. I think the pacing is excellent. All the scenes which should be suspenseful and leave an impact do. I mean, there's so much that goes on in this film, and as I've said, it's like a roller coaster going down. There's never any moments where it kind of pauses, then you can take a breath. You're just kind of invested in it all the time, and that's what a good film does. In the end, it's not a happy-go-lucky story. It's not an uplifting story. It is a dark and depressing story, which it should be. It is about Joker, one of the most famous villains in the world. I don't understand why people thought that this film was going to be kind of a joke and a comedy. No, that's not Joker. He's not a comedic character. He is a dark, twisted villain. And this film handles his origin story better than I ever thought it would. So the story and writing gets a 10 out of 10. I really don't understand why people said this film didn't make sense. Because it's so detailed, I don't see how it couldn't make sense. Now, for this film's special recognition, I am going to say how this film really does have a lot of twists and turns in it, which you don't see coming. Now, this is quite strong spoiler territory. So, if you haven't seen this film, then, well, you shouldn't really be watching this review. I should have said that at the start, sorry about that. Now, a lot of the twists and turns, for example, his girlfriend in this film is not real. It's just a figment of his imagination. He just obsesses over his neighbour to the point that he thinks that she is in love with him, and they spend all this time together. And you don't really see that twist coming. Another twist is you think that he's going to go on this talk show and shoot himself. And no, he doesn't shoot himself. I think he went on there with the intention of shooting himself. However, when he just hears, he's thinking, you know what? I've been brought on this show by Murray Franklin, who's just trying to take the mick out of me. So I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to kill him instead. And you don't see that coming. There's so many things in this film where you don't see that coming. And that's brilliant. A movie you shouldn't, if you go into a film and you've been in there 5 minutes and you already think, oh yeah, I know where this film is going. I know exactly what's going to happen. Then it's not a really good film. This film, you're constantly wondering, what is going to happen? I don't know where it goes from here. When he shot those guys in the train station, I remember thinking, okay, he shot those guys. Where can this film go from here? And it took me completely by surprise that it went the direction it did. So for having so many twists and turns in it, it gets a 10 out of 10 because I didn't see a lot of these twists coming, and I'm usually quite good at pointing out where twists are going and where a film is heading. So in conclusion, The Joker is one of the best and darkest films I've seen in years. The film has such a dark atmosphere and really leaves an impression on the viewer, making them feel uneasy when they leave the cinema. Joaquin Phoenix gives a brilliant portrayal of the Joker, and you can tell that he put his all into this performance. And that is why Joker gets a well-deserved 50 out of 50, which gives it a grade 1 ranking. To be fair, I thought that Avengers Endgame would be the best film I saw in 2019. I was wrong. It's now Joker. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed my Joker review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. I'm sorry if this review I seemed like I was skipping my words a bit. I haven't actually done a YouTube video in a month because my internet kind of went to shit. However, we're back now and hopefully I will improve in the future. So I will see you in another one. See ya!